The new SwitchBot Hub 2 is not just any old smart home hub. This thing is packed full of features and functionality that, well, I'm pretty certain it's going to save you money and will help you build a better smart home system. So let's check it out. Hey everyone, and welcome to a new video on Bite of Geek. Today, well, I'm taking a look at the SwitchBot Hub 2. This is something they sent out to me as part of kind of like the package of items that they sent when they asked would I like to review the new Curtain 3 system. Link up above if you want to watch that video. Spoiler alert, it's a really easy and simple way to go and automate the curtains in your home. But this Hub 2, it's just packed full of functionality. This thing, this is going to replace multiple items in my home. Probably save a little bit of money as well in terms of doing that. But I thought it was well worth doing a video by itself because of the features and functionality that this has got. So what makes this so special? So this thing's got a temperature and humidity sensor. So, if you've already got a separate device for that, you can, probably go and relocate that in another room. It's got a light sensor. Now that's something I don't have as a separate device in my home. I do have it kind of as part of some of the Aqara PIRs. But obviously, if you were thinking about a separate light sensor or, you've got one of those, then you can potentially get rid of that. It's got remote control buttons on it, so you can define these buttons to do different functions and scenes and stuff like that. So again, maybe you've got some of those buttons hanging around, you can go and relocate those to a better use elsewhere. And also it's got an IR blaster in it. Now I've got an RM Mini 3, I think it is. I bought that a number of years ago. Did a review of that on the channel. It works really well with the devices that I use it for. But again, no need for that. I can replace that all with this Hub 2 and cut down kind of like overall battery cost and replacement battery cost and electricity cost for all those devices, and just have it all in this single unit. So on the front of the box, you've got your various smart home ecosystems that this will work with. So you've got your Amazon Alexa, your Google Home, Siri shortcuts, if this then that, and smart things. So quite an array there. No Matter logo on this. The SwitchBot website does talk an awful lot about Matter with this. So talk a little bit later about that. Inside the box, you just get this open. First thing is obviously the hub itself, and then underneath that there's a little box of accessories, so we'll take a look at those in a second. So the hub itself, this is quite a nice compact unit. This is fairly light, this, to be honest. It's nice. It's just a nice, white, simple looking device. Nice big display on the front here. On the back, you've got this little kind of like click out stand. So you can have it just sat on the, on a TV stand or a shelf or something like that. Really quite straightforward. Your USB cable just kind of plugs into the underside of that. But yeah, I think that's quite neat the way that works. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But inside the accessories box, so you've got your power adapter. Obviously, you'll get one country specific. And then you get a USB cable. So I think this is about 6 feet, 6.5 feet, something like that. So quite a long cable. It's got this little block in the middle of it here. Talk a little bit more about that later. And then you get your usual SwitchBot instruction manual, which I actually like, even though I don't read them an awful lot unless I have a problem. It's still good not to have to go and look up online, actually to have that instruction booklet to hand. And then you get some 3M VHB tape if you want to not use this as a stand and you just want to stick it to a wall, so you can just attach it on the back there. So that's what you get in the box. So setting up the Hub 2 is, as I'm finding out with SwitchBot devices, a really simple process to go and do. If you've already got an account, then obviously you can just go ahead and add a device. Otherwise, create your account and away you go, following the instructions. Add your device. It will only connect to 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi networks and no 5 gigahertz here. But you just kind of like put it through the setup process. You follow the instructions on the screen and it gets added. Then you're going to want to link it to your Amazon or Google devices and take advantage of that cloud functionality. The reason why you bought the Hub 2 in the first place. This then effectively allows you to control your SwitchBot devices from anywhere in the world. So once set up, you've got this nice clear display. At the top you've got humidity, and then you've got temperature, and then at the bottom of the screen you've got these two little buttons. By default they just turn the screen on and off, but these can be reprogrammed in the app to do scenes or something like that. Now obviously this Hub 2 forms part of the SwitchBot smart ecosystem, so it's designed to work with all of the devices, their blind tilt, their curtain devices, their remote controls, their door locks, all those kinds of things. And it is that central hub, as it were, as part of those devices. Now, one of the really cool things about this Hub 2 is its built-in IR blaster, which has supposedly got some super crazy range on it. I've obviously just got this set up next to my Samsung TV, but it was just so simple to get this working. Basically you follow the on-screen instructions. There's a smart matching here. You press a button and it comes up with 3 different configurations that it wants you to try in order to control your TV. First one didn't work for me. The second one just was straight in. It managed to control the device straight away. And I've got this nice little remote control panel on the mobile app, and I can turn my telly on and off. I can now build that into automations if I want to go and do that. So really simple process, and well done to SwitchBot for actually making that such a straightforward process. So the USB cable for the Hub 2, well, it's not just any ordinary USB cable. You'll have noticed that little block in line on the cable, and that is actually the temperature and humidity sensor for the Hub 2. SwitchBot have done this intentionally. It's separate from the main device so that it doesn't kind of pick up any heat that's generated in the actual main unit of the Hub 2. Quite a sensible decision, I think, they've made there. Makes the readings more accurate. There's a lot of devices, multi-use devices on the market that will be affected. The readings will be affected because of that heat that is generated in the device. From a consumer's point of view, what does that mean? Well, I guess you're not going to be able to use any normal USB cable to go and power this. So you're going to have to make sure, if you've got a dog or a rabbit or whatever, right, that it doesn't end up chewing through that cable. Otherwise, you're going to have to, get onto SwitchBot support and see if you can get hold of a replacement cable. So in the app, you've got a number of options to kind of like customize how you want the Hub 2 to work. So obviously you can kind of like configure what's displayed on the screen here. The kind of like brightness levels and stuff like that, and kind of like the information, whether it plays a tone, all that kind of stuff. You can also configure a do not disturb on it, so you can have it turn off the screen maybe when it gets later at night, and then for it to turn back on in the early hours of the morning. You've then got alerts for different conditions, so maybe the temperature got to a certain point or the humidity's got to a certain point. You can have it alert you to that. And if you want to be able to calibrate the accuracy of the Hub 2 and you've got some kind of external device to be able to help you with that, then you've got the option here as well. So one of the other options in the app is a Matter option. It's still marked as in beta, probably the reason why it's not got a logo on the front of the box. But when I went into that, I was prompted to download a firmware update, but that the app itself hasn't changed. It still says that it's a beta version, but effectively, for those of you that are wanting to use Matter, you're going to be able to use some of the SwitchBot devices. So it's kind of like the curtain 1, curtain 2, and the tilt, blind tilt. They are working through the rest of the devices to go and add that support. But it's a really nice feature to have if you need this. It opens up kind of like your Apple Homekit side of things and being able to bring these devices into that ecosystem. So as I mentioned earlier, you can assign scenes to the buttons that are on the front. So by default, it's just set to an on-off configuration, but you can go and set one up. So just to play around with this and give you a bit of an example, I've just set up to go and mute the volume on my TV. That scene is available in the app as well. If I want to just use the SwitchBot app to go and do that. But if the hub is in range, then you can just use the button on the front of the hub to go and do something like that. I probably wouldn't go and do something like a mute a TV option, but you get the idea. You've got plenty of devices that you can connect via the IR blaster, for example, that you could use this with. So one of the really cool features about the app is the data that it stores. So if you want to look at some charts to go and see your temperature levels, humidity, your light levels, whatever, you've got those day, week, month, year charts there. You can also go and extract that data out as well. So maybe you want to pull it into I don't know, maybe a spreadsheet or something like that, and then you've got that ability there as well. So overall, I think the SwitchBot Hub 2, super useful device. It's currently priced at £79.99 in the UK, which sounds expensive when you're kind of thinking, you've got a mindset of the other hubs that are out there. They're generally kind of like the £30-odd mark, something like that. But this is more than just a hub that allows you to connect a device to your network. There is a lot of other functionality here that you would be paying additional money for if you were buying another hub from another ecosystem. And I think that's what brings the value to the SwitchBot Hub 2. Feature-wise, functionality and all that kind of stuff, it is super easy to use. It's a really nice unit. It doesn't look out of place. It's not something that is a bit of an eyesore or something like that. Obviously you've got the different configurations for mounting it and things like that, so obviously well thought out there by SwitchBot. Personally, as something that just sits there on the side with the display on during the day, I think this would be really cool if this was able to display a clock, for example. SwitchBot, I don't even know whether, if you're watching this video, whether that's even something that's possible with a bit of a firmware update, but for me, I would want that to be able to display the time as well. I think that would be a really nice feature. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I'll put a link down below in the description if you want to get yourself one of these from Amazon or SwitchBot's own store. There'll be a discount code if you want to get yourself 10% off as well. But if you've enjoyed the video, then don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. But as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.